Hello everyone, Zelrant here, and today we're going to take a look at Etheria Restart now that the final paid test beta has been out for about a day. I played for it a little bit yesterday on stream. One thing before we kind of talk about it, though, is a correction to something I mentioned on stream as I was looking through the shop for anyone that might have been there. And that is, when I originally had seen these in the shop, I mistakenly thought this was actually able to get a copy of the character, but this is actually for getting a dupe of the character. So do not go into the shop and be buying the weekly pass of this for $51 to get those, because those are dupes. Those will not give you a copy of the character here. But that's just a quick correction on that from the live stream yesterday. But that basically brings into consideration the main reason I play betas, because I'm not one of those people that likes to push really far into a beta. The account's going to get deleted. I don't want to waste my time too much. I just want to kind of plan out my launch and use the beta to kind of take advantage of doing that. And so with Etheria Restart, the big decision is whether or not it's going to be worth it to re-roll or take advantage of the paid rebate. And with the rebate, my plans, and I think a majority of people who are going to be willing to spend money on this game, is around $100, because up to $100 you'll get basically double the value on start. So if you spend $100 now, you're going to get $200 on the start of the game. And so in the shop, now that those other ones are worthless to me, the best value is absolutely going to be the random SSR here for $51. If you buy, you basically are effectively getting, if you spend the money now, you're effectively going to be able to get this for half the price. And if you spend $100, you can basically buy out the entire beginner shop, plus I think a majority of the crystal shop, because that'll get you that'll be $100 that you spend to do that. And so what does that get you in, like, ultimate value? And so you're going to get a random SSR. Random's the big key thing there. A couple of these Apex prototypes. I think you're going to get like 20 of them. Yeah, 20 of those. A decent amount of the purple pulls, although you're going to get a crap ton of the normal pulls. And then a ton of crystals if you buy out all the crystals with their top-ups. Now, one thing with the crystals, and this is going to be something that is going to be very hard for a lot of people. I'm a patient person, but so this is how I will be utilizing all crystals I get in the game. And that is going to be converting them here on these weekly packs. Right now, how it works in-game, if we go to the shop, actually, we'll go to the summon here. Now, I have 17 pulls right now, so it's not going to ask me this, but it costs 100 crystals to do a single pull on the limited banner, and on the light dark limited banner, it costs 300, which I can show you that right here. I can convert 300 of them to pull on him. This one here, the one that's random, you can't. You need the affinity, or you need these Apex ones to pull on this banner. So what that tells me is these weekly packs right here, you're getting 10 for only 800. So you're getting a bonus 2 on this one. And then on this one, you're getting 5 for 1200. And so normally for 1200 on the other one, you're only going to get 4 if you buy it outright on the banner. So you're getting a bonus 1 pull on this one. And then the nice thing is these pulls you can use on the permanent banner as well, while you cannot use the crystals on the permanent banner. So if I were to go that route, I'm not even going to be able to take advantage of those crystals until a lot of time has gone by, because it's going to take me about just 10 weeks alone just to spend those crystals, let alone the crystals that you're going to earn through the game, which is you're going to earn a lot of them through gameplay as well. They are throwing pulls at you at the beginning of the game. And so that takes me to the other question is, okay, so that's what we can get with spending our money. We're going to get a ton of pulls. That is one thing that is for certain. It's just going to take time to spend those crystals. The big negative is that one banner, or that one free pull that you can get, or not free pull, that one pull you can buy for $51 is random from this banner. There's no guarantee on a light or dark or anything, and it's a random character. It may be a character you don't even care about. So that brings into consideration now the other decision is whether or not you want to re-roll. And even though you're a spender, maybe you're going to spend $100 at launch, even if you're going to be willing to re-roll. So once you're done re-rolling, you spend the $100, and you only can get $100 worth of stuff in there. What can re-rolling do for you? Now, my original video mentioned that with re-rolling, we estimated that you were going to get about 30 pulls. And I actually did. Now, I haven't actually tested it myself, but I did see that Vulcan, who he's crazy. He loves his re-rolling. He'll get a good account re-rolling and still continue re-rolling while playing the account he got. And I watched him re-roll a little bit after I got off stream, And he was getting, it took about 15 to 20 minutes for an entire reroll process. And he was walking away with 60 pulls, not 30. And that actually makes a very big difference when it comes to rerolling. And that is because when you go to the permanent banner here, and go to the probabilities and the rules here, soft pity starts at 50. And you're going to be deep into soft pity. Now, hard pity is 80. But soft pity being at 50 makes it where you have very good odds of getting the item just in general. Now, when I ran it in the math on a calculator for it, at 60 pulls, you have a 45% chance of pulling an SSR. Now, it is random, but you have a 45%. So without that soft pity, about every other reroll, you should get an SSR. With that soft pity, watching Vulcan, it seemed like he got an SSR almost every single one that I seen. I don't think he missed, like, at all. And I didn't watch his entire stream, but he seemed to be getting at least one SSR consistently. And so what that brings me into consideration is you have a 25% chance to get one of these units. So if you do the math there and you just don't take into consideration soft pity and say it's going to take every other reroll to get a unit, you can say every 8 rerolls you'll be able to get a light or dark unit. And so there's 5 of them. So if you times that by 5, if you want to go for a specific one, you should say instead of it taking about on average 100 to get the specific character you want, it's going to take 40. Now, if you're a little bit more flexible, which I will be, I'm really willing, like, I'd be willing to go with Doki Doki, Lily, or Henrik. Lily and Doki Doki being the big ones I want. But that basically effectively gives me even more. That means, like, I should take on average 20 or less for me to get what I want. Now, it's math. I mean, it's math and statistics. It could still take me 100, 200, 300 rerolls to pull it off. But that's just saying you have very good chance of getting your units fairly quickly. And actually, that's what happened with Vulcan. He did get Doki Doki within like a couple hours in his rerolling. But that's not even taken into consideration soft pity there. But then there's also the other thing is, when I look at the math for 60 pulls, you actually have like a 10% chance to get 2 SSRs in here. And after watching Orange J and his crazy luck, if anyone hasn't seen his video on his pulls, now he spent $100 and bought a bunch of pulls, so he had like 140. But he got, with like the 150 pulls that he did, he got a copy of Freya, he got Lily, he got Henrik, and he was able to get Messiah. So he got 3 light and darks. And then he got Freya, and then he used the selector to get another unit. So he was like, oh man, I'm not going to have this luck again. But that's the thing is, with rerolling, I can try and give myself that kind of luck. So one thing is that I can do is I can reroll until I get a good count that I want, save that account off and say, hey, if I can't get anything better, I'll just roll with this one. And then I'll just keep going, and maybe I can get lucky and start off with, say, a Lily and a Doki Doki at once. Now, that's very unlikely, but maybe I can start off getting a Lily and then a Tiamat. And then from there, I can use my selector to get a Tsukiyomi, who I would really want. And then I can just dump the rest of my pulls into Freya. And what's really nice about this is this sets me up for success. I have a good account ready to go. I can spend some money, because I still plan to spend money. I can buy up all the value pack stuff here. And then I can just hold and just every single week use my crystals to buy these pulls. And then as units roll into the limited banners here, I can start to fill up my roster that way. And that way I start off really good, because if I spend money, that's going to be the way I approach it anyway, because I really don't like the idea of pulling on this banner once I have like 1 or 2 units from it. Because if you get a dupe, like even the first time you do it, if you get a Ling Lu, that's going to be so depressing, because you get Ling Lu for free. And if you buy or dump a bunch of pulls in here and you get her, it's just going to be very sad. So that's one of the main reasons that I am actually going to plan to reroll. And the other thing actually I forgot to mention is when it comes to rerolling, I'll be making a video on it once it comes. I might actually just do it to showcase it here. But I did see on Discord that you can use salted emails. And what that means is you can effectively use your main email. The only difference is every time you need to sign up for a new account, you just put a plus number after it. So you go +1 for your first reroll, +2 for your second reload, +3 until you get your account. The only negative with that is when logging in, you have to use that as your email, but it forwards everything from the game to your email. So like my email, I'll just put my email plus whatever, and then I'll be good to go. And I'll just keep doing that till I get my good account, and then I just have to save that off somewhere since that's what I have to use to log in. But at least I'll still get all the emails to my main email. I don't have to save off like a randomly named email that I made. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought I'd just kind of discuss it. Now, I will be showing the whole process at some point for people planning to do that in the future. I think it is absolutely, whether you're free to play or not, I think re-rolling is the way to go. Now, if you're one of those people that's okay with getting whatever, I think it's fine to just take advantage of the rebate, because you do get a lot for the rebate. And some people aren't as crazy as me, and they're just like, hey, I'll take whatever I get, and I'll just make it work with that. I'll build my teams around them, and that's fine. I mean, Freya's already really good, and you can guarantee her, and you can guarantee a Tiamat. So you can get Tiamat, which I think Freya and Tiamat work really well together. You're getting the free Leanne. You're getting the free Ling Lu. And so you're already, even if you don't want to take advantage of rerolling, going to be able to start off really strong. And that's because when you look at the bosses, you can build all the teams around doing all of the bosses with those units. The unit that Tiamat is bad at, Leon, Ling Lu, and Freya are all good at. The ones that Freya is bad at, the one that Freya's bad at, Tiamat's good at, I believe. So you'll be able to build teams around all the bosses even if you don't want to reroll. So you don't have to worry about that. It's just all about getting those light and dark units, because they are very hard to get. Because like I said, you cannot pull on this banner unless you have these Apex prototypes, which you cannot get very quickly in this game. I haven't seen them really handed out very much. They're in there. They're in like the battle pass and stuff, but they are pretty rare. So your only ultimate way to really get them is when that unit comes onto a limited banner like this, and then spending either the 300 crystals here to get pulls, or like I plan to do for future pulls, continuously buy out the 5 pulls here for 1200 crystals on a weekly basis. That's going to be my advice in this shop to do every week, and not actually spend crystals directly for pulls. But I'll make a separate video for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on re-rolling. Just let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. But yeah, if you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.